There's a law of physics that says the smaller the space something is confined to, the greater the pressure. Economics says something similar. The lower the supply of something, the greater the value, assuming the demand stays constant. And we all know that a small, bold piece of art can say way more than a massive generic one. I remember seeing the Mona Lisa for the first time and being shocked by how small it was. But then, the fact that it's so small is weirdly part of its power. Whatever the medium or context, there's often an inverse relationship between how much we put out into the world and how impactful it is. And yes, I fully realize the irony of a podcaster / YouTuber putting out a newsletter and a YouTube episode about how to talk less. But stay with me here. The same idea applies to how much you speak. When you bang on about something for a while, the value of each individual word decreases. When you launch into a meandering monologue, the power of your point gets diluted. But when you're disciplined about when and how much you talk, the value of each word goes up. If you're like me and you found yourself over talking in a one-on-one hangout, in a meeting at work, or in a public presentation, then you know that taking up unnecessary space feels frustrating, confusing, and often disempowering. Unless you're a raging narcissist, in which case you're probably not attuned whatsoever to how much space you take up or what other people think of you. And in that case, this episode is not for you. The more you say, the less impact you have. The less you say, the more impact you have. Assuming that what you're saying is valuable in the first place, of course. And yet many of us, including the non-narcissists, still talk more than is necessary. Why? Why is that? One reason is we're not actually very thoughtful about how much we actually need to speak. That's one fairly easy to address. You just have to be more self-aware and attuned to your audience. What do you have to say that's truly valuable? What does your audience actually need? Are you talking to contribute something meaningful, or are you talking to perform the role of someone meaningful? The second reason we talk too much is that too many words is a crutch. Sometimes we don't trust ourselves to be precise and efficient and simply get to the point. Sometimes our words become a source of comfort and stability rather than a delivery mechanism for value. Sometimes we're just nervous and drowning in anxiety, and words are like a raft. But more often than not, we overtalk to avoid something. A clear relationship with our own thoughts. The discomfort of sitting with a question or a problem. The healthy tension of silence. The last one is especially difficult for many of us to get comfortable with, especially in group settings where it can feel like something's wrong if someone isn't talking, when really the opposite is actually true. A lot of talking gets in the way of the best solution, whereas silence that leads to clearer thoughts get us closer to one. So if you struggle with over talking, or you just want to make more of an impact with your words, then look at how many words you use, how often, and when. Push yourself to find the fewest words to express the clearest idea. Only speak when you have something valuable to offer. Give yourself and others the gift of being quiet when you don't. Trust that saying less will only make what you do say more valuable. And remember that the flip side of talking is listening, one of the greatest superpowers. Oftentimes, the antidote to over talking is to simply stop and make space for someone else.